some water now. My mic was off, huh? Hey, oh. Cut the mic on, turn the light on, let your eyes go, let your mind roll, till the time slip, till we all go. Hey, I'm back again, killing the flow, telling my friends, we back, riding out hand and win. Hey, diving, I don't feel I'm again. Hey, sliding, I don't know I'm a man. Hey, reversing my lyrics as I come up with them, cause I ain't got nothing that I could say. Hey, but I reverted back to today. Hey, I stepped outside and it was great. My mental felt better than yesterday. Less some weight off of it and I'm feeling like anyway. Hey, ooh, I ain't wanna say a word, but I grew. So follow me to the depths of the beat. Hey, stepping on it like it's a heat. Golden minds under the leprechaun times. I look inside of the rhyme and let you know that my eyes lit. Damn, this beat is new for me to rap on, so I had to catch my feet, but I feel like I can still snap on it. Hey, but I'm back again, rap on it. Hey, back on it. Hey, tap dancing. Hey, sliding before I hit the laxing in. Hey, laxative, shitty moves. I reversed the rhymes that I spit last week on the show for you. Ooh, cause I lost my frame of mind, and I'm still stuck in between the lines. Black and white, piano keys. Looking at the time drift, actually. It's only been a minute. 2 o'clock on the dot, I'm sipping on some water. Got my rinse and harder.
Hey, that was hard. That was dope.
Looking to Vine Tree Radio. It's your boy West here chilling with
Mowdy Wowie, how's it going?
You know we got a guest. Introduce yourself.
Good evening. I messed up. This is Jason Lang, CEO of World Heat Enterprises, modeling management, and talent agency.
Welcome. Welcome to the podcast today. We're glad to have you. It's a good day outside.
Thank you.
And usually this part we get to introduce our guests and how we get to meet each other. And today is a special day because I get to have my actual family on here and someone that I've known forever, pretty much into my life. Into being on here.
Yes, that's right. I am the cousin of West. And I'm definitely glad to be a part of this. I'm excited, and I wanted to get the show on the road.
Yeah, and I was glad also to have you here because it's cool to see someone else in my family that is also doing something similar to the field that I'm doing. Because I remember like early on when I wasn't doing this, seeing you already trying to make strides into the industry that you're in with World Enterprises.
Yes. Yeah, it's been a journey. Ups and downs, like always, but I definitely like that the hard work that I put in and the team that I have around me. For one thing, I like to say it's good to have like-minded people around you that wants the same goals that you want, because it just makes the job more easier. I want to give a shout out to Alexis, Monique, Fatima, and Dominique. These are the 4 girls that play a major part in World Heat Enterprises. There wouldn't be no World Heat Enterprises without them. So I always want to make sure I, give them their credit because it's really due, and they really kept this business flowing. And so much love and respect to those strong females.
That's really hard, and that's really a great thing to hear that businesses are built still around cores of strong females, women in them, you know what I mean? Because I feel like that's something a lot of people look for. And today I've seen currently, that's a big topic within the workplace of women businesses and where they are within the workplace and these companies and whatnot.
Absolutely.
And so you would say your company was built in a sense with the team. It needed a team to get there.
Yeah,
that's a good point to start on.
Yeah, it actually started, Dominique is actually my best friend. She's been doing it for years. And, of course, as we get older, life happens, we raise family. So she put things on hold, to get her family, to raise a family. And, and once she got that situated, she wanted to come back. And, we were just sitting there in the living room one day and she was just telling me how, there were people looking into her to get her back in modeling and she needed a manager and she asked me to do it. And I was like, why not? You know, but little did I know that it was going to start this quick, and the chemistry was there. And it started off with us just doing, once again, let me give a shout out to Showtime Watkins because, and Jason Green, because for some reason we got into the backyard wrestling.
Wow.
Yeah, the backyard wrestling scene, because he had a show called Hot Hoon Radio, and he knew that I was just now coming into the entertainment scene, and he needed, people to be a part of his show. And what happened was I did an interview just like this on his podcast show, and he knew that I managed Dominique at the time, and he wanted her to be one of the backyard wrestling, how can I say, like the host.
Wow.
And so we got invited, and like I said, I wasn't supposed to be in the show, but somehow I met this wrestler named Jay Baptiste, named Jason Green, and
just like you.
Yeah. Yeah. And, it's funny because same name and same birthday. Only thing is that he was born in 1983. I'm 85.
Oh,
yeah. So, it's
almost fate at that point.
Yeah,
I feel like it's hard to ignore. Like, I have the same name as you, same birthday.
Yeah.
And this is kind of your first introduction into the new field you're going into.
Absolutely. So shout out to those guys. But how it started was he needed people to do, when the pandemic hit, a lot of people couldn't gather. Mm-hmm. So what a lot of people did was they started, since they couldn't gather and invite people, they started just filming. And he needed like an extra person to be in his scene, and he asked me, and I said, well, why not? So now it was me and Dominique in the his wrestling scene, and I guess the way I acted, he really loved it, and I was a part of it. So we ended up doing wrestling shows with him. So not only does she's modeling, but she's also doing wrestling shows as the host, and she's a beautiful girl, and the way she carries herself and herself is everybody, she gravitates to a lot of people, and it went from there. So after that, she got casted to do a clothing line for North Stars, which is a hip hop rapper from Long Beach, where I'm from, and he's got a good buzz, and he was looking for a female model to model his clothes, and he chose Dominique. So we did a photo shoot, and then that's why I met my second model, Lex, and everybody just hit it off. So we got each other's information, Instagram pages and all that, and 2 months later she had reached out to me because we did another photo shoot in Malibu for this horse company called Entertainment Horses. They wanted to book Damo again. Well,
I don't know how'd you get into the horse company.
Man, it's just stuff just kept happening. Everything was happening little by little. You might hear the word Damo. That's what we call her. Her name is Damo. That's Dominique, but we call her Damo. And we did a photo shoot for these horses, and Lex hit me up, and she was like, hey, I would love to work with you. And I was like, well, come on, let's work. And that time, I said, okay, well, since I have two models now, so now it's time to really, see what this thing's gonna come out of. So I'm on, doing my networking on social media and, internet and stuff. And then I run across to this real famous designer named Nikki. Dope. I mean, from the sewing, this lady's incredible. I never seen I hear about it, but actually see someone create the clothes that's supposed to be in the show just by a sewing machine. That's a lot of talent right there. And and I reached out to her, and she was like, I'm always looking for new models. And we did a show together.
You're like, I have some new models. Yeah,
yeah, and we did a show together. So it was me, Lex, and then I ended up being a part of the show. So that built a bridge right there. So as we continue to go on the journey in the summertime, all of a sudden, the one at the makeup artist that we was using at the time, she knew this one girl that was coming back from Las Vegas, and she came back to LA to, I guess things went good for her in Las Vegas, but it didn't really go quite the way she wanted to, because Vegas is also trying to get back into the modeling scene. But, Vegas is only known for like gambling. It's like a one-stop city. So,
exactly.
The mecca of fashion is LA, New York, and London. So she moved back, and the makeup artist was like, I know this girl. The only thing, she's very tall. And she's tall, man. And that's how I met Monique. And we hit it off. And I was like, you know what? I think we need to go ahead and build this team. You know, and that's when World Heat kicked in. And the reason why I call it World Heat is because we bring the heat. You know, I see the vision of us traveling around the world, you know, and building an international empire. And that's why I call it World Heat, because where we go, we're going to give the people what they want. And we're going to bring that fire. You know,
I like that. It makes sense.
My slogan is we're going to bring so much heat, not even water going to be to put us out. You know, you know, so yeah, man, like I said, I really am blessed to have those girls, man. If it wasn't for them, there wouldn't be no World Heat Enterprises. Yes, I'm the CEO, but they was the ones who did this for me.
Yeah.
So shout out to them again, because they played a major role in what in this creative, what I created. It wasn't just me, it was them as well.
I know you mentioned, sorry, I don't know if this is on or not. I know you mentioned, is this?
It sounds like you're just talking low.
Yeah, I don't know.
I can hear it though.
All right, hello, better? All right, there we go, sorry. I know you mentioned like the kind of instant connection that you had with each of them. Can you describe like what that was beyond like what was it about those connections that really made you feel like this is the right person to?
You know, it was like everything that you said, how you want to create, they said the same thing. You know, work ethics. That's the most important thing I look for. Really good work ethics. There wasn't no excuses. It was like, you want to get it done, let's get it done. And for you don't have to, you know, a lot of times sometimes you have to kind of guide people. They already knew what they had to do. You just needed a team. You know, there is no I in team. I'm really a believer in that. There is no I in team. When you build a team, it's going. It's a for sure go thing. And they all had that drive like I had. You know, so I really didn't have to explain too much. It was just like, okay, let's do it. And we executed everything that we wanted to do and that we're still doing. We're executing it. And that's what I say, a team, you know. And when I say World Heat, they all had the fire like I have. So we're just hot, you know, just bringing heat. So that was the chemistry, you know. You would just know it. The energy they feed out, you just know it. And yeah.
Very cool.
Now,
Awesome.
I had one question about the wrestling time. Like, is there any times in there that you had that was like stuck out to you, just significantly memorable? I know also, if I remember correct, I think you participated in some of it as well. Like, how was that? Like,
that was a cool experience. I still, you know, work alongside independent wrestling. And by the way, the company that I was a part of was called Compton Mania. And my character was Ezekiel, and basically Ezekiel was Jay Baptiste. He's a preacher, but he has these evil ways, you know, where, you know, somehow he gets distracted and he likes to beat the crap out of people. Mm-hmm. So I was his obedient follower, and basically, you know, wherever he go, I go. So I'm like in this trance, mm-hmm. And man, like. It gave me so much respect on the wrestling, because a lot of wrestlers don't get the respect. These are actors. Yeah. You know, the fact that they don't look like a Denzel Washington or a Michael B. Jordan or
look at John Cena now. Like,
yeah.
All he does is acting.
Yeah, exactly.
On some real shit, I feel like for wrestlers, it's a lot of times even like more so than a lot of like people that are just like on like the film and TV, because for them it's like more like method acting, because you really got to get into character, and like on the street walking around, like you're expected to be that character almost.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And it gave me so much respect, man, because these guys really put their bodies on the line. I mean, I'm talking about when you get hit with a chair, they're really getting hit with a chair. And the way the whole stage and the wrestling ring, you can seriously hurt yourself. So, you know, it's acting, but it's like stunt devil, everything. And it gave me a big respect you know, from just watching it on TV, because I'm a huge wrestling fan. But when I actually experienced that firsthand, I tip my hat to those guys. I wasn't the guy that was in the ring getting beat the crap out of, but, you know, by watching that, it's like, wow, man, how can you not respect these guys? You know, they're in character, I mean, and they're independent, so they're putting their blood, sweat, and tears in this. This is their passion, you know, and they want to be in the WWF, and this is, you know, they're, you know, so it gave me a whole respect.
It almost reminds me of, you ever seen, like, have you seen Snowfall?
Yeah.
But, like, at the very beginning, you don't really touch on that, but, like,
also
was, like, he was a wrestler, and it was, like, kind of in a place that wasn't, like, real wrestling, but he was really just getting beat up. Like.
Can you touch on it a little bit of, like, going from, like, the independent scene to, like, the WWF or any kind of...
do they try to, like, in there? Do they want to? Or are there people that have, like, done it?
That's the goal. Okay. Mm-hmm. The goal is to build that fan base and get noticed to possibly chance to be a part of the WWF or WCW because it takes that. It takes that. You know, how to build your character, the training that comes with it. You know, these people are putting their own money into investing in themselves.
So it's similar to like music in that regard. They want to build their name up and their reputation up. So then the other people come and be like, "Oh, we have a deal for you to come to wrestle with us." And
it's so much competition. So much competition. You know.
Within that, do you think that there is a possibility, like kind of like relating it to music, where now we're seeing a couple artists that are coming up like on the indie wave of being able to still get the recognition without the backing of a major? Do you think that's possible?
Have there been some really big like independent wrestling? Guns. I feel like I did see some like Kimbo Slice used to do like those backyard stuff like that.
Yes, but like I said, it's what you put into it. Mm-hmm. You have to breathe. You have to eat, sleep, and breathe this thing, and those guys do that.
Yeah, definitely.
They wake up wrestling. They wake up, you know, they eat wrestling. You know, they watch wrestling. That's their whole life. And like I said, I was never the person that was in the ring getting beat the crap out of, or, you know, but I was always the character that kind of stirred up the instigator, you know. So I was like the heel, the people that didn't like, because they were like, what is Ezekiel doing? You know what I'm saying? He never gets in the ring and help his Jay Baptiste, but he's always the one stirring up problems, you know. Yeah. So that was my character. I was always the hated character, but yeah, man, I have a lot of respect for those guys. You know, I can never do what they do, you know, but just seeing it and experiencing that was incredible. You know, like I said, a major shout out and much love and respect to Jay Baptiste, Jason Green, and Showtime, because with them, it started what I did.
And how'd you get into music videos per se? I know you said you did like the photo shoot for like an artist.
Yes.
Like, so then how from there did you get into the music videos? Because I know modeling and music videos are akin in a way, but I feel like it's still somewhat like of a jump you'd have to make to be like, all right, now we're gonna do videos.
Yeah. You know, like I said, networking, going to you know, places where, you know, people come to network and meet people and see, you know, what's out there. Mm-hmm. And I got it. One of my models got invited to do a music video, and by the guy, his name was Boss Up Chainz. He's another rapper from the IE, and he liked, I guess, the way, you know, I ran the business. And, you know, he was interested in Lex, you know, and Lex was like, yeah, I don't have no problem doing it. And then, you know, I said, well, I have another girl, and which was Dominique, and it went from there, man. So, you know, I guess how you can say it is you just got to be at the right place at the right time. And if people like what you're doing, and then plus how you use social media, all these tools that you can use, you'll find these people, you know, if you use it the correct way. You know, we're not just here just to take selfies, you know, and all that nonsense. You know, use it correctly, and you're going to find what you're looking for. Mm-hmm. You know, take advantage of these events that come. You know, don't just go there just to, you know, mingle and try to build connections. Yeah. And that's what I do.
I was actually gonna ask you about that, because I feel like that's like the most important aspect of being like the manager and CEO of this type of industry. It's like it's very connection based. And so I wanted to ask you, like, how it, like you mentioned these events, but prior to that, how did you kind of start going about building those connections? Has it always been like a thing of just always trying to get to know everybody, trying to be in the mix, or is it a matter of like strategically knowing, like, I want to speak to this person, that person?
Strategically, that really does play a big factor. You don't want to talk to anybody. Not everybody, what I've learned, not everybody has the best interest. You know, so you got to really kind of see what people are doing. Ask questions. You know, the person that you think that are, you know, ask somebody that's close to them. You can get a good rundown of their background. And so you have to really kind of like observe people too, and know that, okay, if this is the right person that's going to, you know, help, or if this is the right connection, how can we both benefit for each other? We're not just taking here. You know what I'm saying? Let's work together and build something, you know. And that's how I do it. You know, I really observe, I do my study, my background information, you know, because when you're independent, you're the one doing it, you know, so you don't want to sit here and, you know, for every move you make, you want to move up. You know, you don't want to be stagnant, or you don't want to have it be a setback, you know. So, and that comes from experience too. I made a lot of mistakes to where it put me back, but it made me learn and say, okay, I got to move a little different now, you know. So everything I believe strategic, you know. If you know somebody, know that person, ask that person questions, and, you know, and if you feel it, you know, go ahead and make that move. You know, that's how I look at it. You know.
What would you say was one of the biggest mistakes that made you kind of like that you've learned from?
Like, yeah, mistake lesson.
Oh man, rushing, not going off my emotions, not really, okay, you know, when deals present themselves, you know, don't just hop on it right away. That's why I made the mistake. You know, a lot of money was lost, and you can't get it back. But that's because I was just moved by the excitement of what I saw, but I didn't really, you know, like I said, I didn't do the strategic part of it. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, don't be so excited to just hop on quickly. Observe, you know what I'm saying, and you know, do your research.
Definitely.
And I was gonna have one question. How do you go about collaborating with other brands like yourself? Because I feel that's part one that came up in the conversation of this, is in building a team, is like, then how do you go about when you come across like other brands or things that are also conglomerates that are doing similar things? Like, how do you guys collaborate to do stuff? Or do you guys just, you know, have certain points like strategically where it's like, okay, we could do a combined thing on this?
Yeah, something like that. You know, when I approach like these designers and these companies, I always like to see how can we both benefit from this. You know, so, you know, I'm not here to take. You know, I'm here for the, you know, the give. Let's help each other. You know, and I think when you approach that situation, it makes things run a lot smoother, because now everybody both benefits from this. You know, you have a clothing brand, I have models. You have a makeup line, I have models. I can, you know, my models need makeup to look good for the photo shoots, you know. So that's how you do it, you know, and you build that relationship from there.
Smart. That's good. That's good.
I feel like one thing I also was interested in is, I feel like the network, we talked a little bit about networking, but also wanted to talk about in the area. I feel like, do you feel like in LA, in area as a total, it kind of, your business has thrived in a sense? Absolutely. Because of like the amount of small businesses? That was something I thought about, and was very interesting, because I would see on your page like a lot of different small businesses that you have worked with, even vegan ones. Yes. And how that played into it, because I was like, wow, like there's a lot of companies that need photos of their company, that need people to model their things, and a surplus of that creates a surplus of business for you. Like, you know?
Yes, absolutely. It's like I said, you always want to you want to, and then, you know, the biggest part, support these people. You know, they're small businesses, you know, support them. You know, buy a t-shirt, take a picture in those t-shirts, you know, just give that support. And that's the most important thing that, you know, I think a lot of people kind of fail at. We always try to go after the hype of what's, you know, the numbers and all that, but you also have small business managers that will actually, you know, can use you, and they'll post you on your page, or, you know, how can I say it? It's don't always follow the hype. That smaller business have the same hunger as you. Help build each other up.
Yeah, that's what I feel like I'm noticing sometimes in business models itself, that like sometimes you could work with a lot of different businesses that maybe not even the bigger one that you need to get to the next level, but you could have a lot of different business you do that keeps your business afloat in general by having a lot of different businesses. Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, it's just like when people talk about having like passive income and stuff like that. Like, you could kind of create passive income in that way. I feel like better through like a lot of different independent companies. Yeah. Because it's like, you know what I mean? Like they'll always need, it's kind of like a exchange, like bartering. It's like they always need you to give them paper for this. And it's like that way, you know, it's always going to work like that. Like, oh, I always got this. Even though it's a small exchange, it's just always exchange though. Yes. And it can lead to something big, you know? You nailed it, man. You nailed it. Yeah, you nailed it.
That's super cool.
What do you think about that?
I love it. I love the idea of incorporating like the community aspect, like the mom and pop shops, having, and also for just like on wanting to help the community bit, but then also like how you're saying, I didn't give that much consideration as to how that does add more like potential long-term income from having all these, because there's so many small businesses around you that are constantly popping up, and we're in LA, everyone needs like a poster child or a figure for their brand in any way, shape, or form. And so there's like a bunch of opportunities left and right. So I do see the greatness in that. And I was kind of curious within that, what is like the next step for trying to take that aspect like international, or like whether it be like even within the States? Like,
is it through like the modeling, you'd say?
Yeah. So the next step, as you know, somebody has to get their foot in the door when it comes down to these majors. You know, the most important goal that we're all trying to reach right now is to get into a agency. Giving the agencies what they want, because, you know, at the end of the day, we all want to make money, you know, and I feel like once we get our foot in the door, we can bring those people we worked with into the next door. And that's, you know, a hand pulls another hand, you know, with those connections. So I think that's where people will start thriving more. You know, take that risk to say, hey, you know, if one of us make it, then we all make it. And I think a lot of people don't like to do that because they're afraid of the competition, or they might be afraid that somebody might pass them up. But it's not really like that. It's the fact that, hey, you know, we're in this together, so whoever makes it, let's push it, you know, and then we all can make it, you know.
That's a good point, though. I often think about that, like how sometimes the next step in some teams is possibly like one person taking that deal to further their thing, but to separate it from the team so that they could still get the independent. Like I often think of that, like, is that the way to do it? Because I've seen other, you know what I mean? Like I see the option of that certain times. Like, what if like you're like, nah, someone wants to give you this bag, and you're like, all right, let's take the bag over here, separate it, you know what I'm saying, and be like, but you can't have this. You know what I'm saying? Like giving something in particular to get in a room. It's all about, like you said, like the exchange. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like if you're not exchanging the whole company, you're just, this person is doing this deal, but then that deal garners this certain exposure, and then this person is still allowed to do other stuff with you. It's not that bad, depending what kind of, you know, doors you can get into based on that deal. Yep.
And also too, I want to give another shout out to Fatima. She's not in California, but she definitely helps me a lot. And she's in Indianapolis. She's also part of the team as well. I didn't want to forget her. But yeah, so, you know, shout out to her. Thank you.
How does it working with the team, people that is not like that isn't everywhere, like all together, is what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like everyone, I imagine, doesn't live close by, or do they? But I think you said some people live in other places. So how is that?
Well, you know, the power of the social media, man. You know, that's one thing I can say about social media. You can talk to somebody that's in Australia and still get stuff done, you know? So, yeah, man, even though sometimes they can't be physically here, but, you know, the power of social media, if you use it right, you can get some stuff done. You know, you can link that person with that person, you know, so.
Yeah. Those have been pretty smooth so far with that, like not too many
Mm-hmm.
difficulties.
No, not at all. You know, if
cool.
you structure it right, it'll work. It works out for everybody, you know. Yeah.
Now, on kind of like a different note, music-wise, when you're going to these like photo shoots, I know like when I've seen like behind the scenes footage of some stuff, like it sounds like they have music going on to kind of set the vibe. Can you touch on that? Like what kind of music is usually set to set the vibes for like photo shoots?
Well, it all depends. Well, a lot of times, we like to ask the models, what do you like to listen to get you guys in that right mood? So whatever they're craving.
Okay.
But a lot of it now, it's since they're women, you know, they like that R&B, love, you know, whatever, you know, that's going to get them in there. And then too, the clothing. Mm-hmm. So if they're wearing something like formal, you probably might hear, you know, the R&B. You know, if they're wearing like urban wear, you're going to hear some hip hop. You know, they get them kind of like, yeah, you know.
That is true. Like my image of like a photo shoot in my head though is like from TV has been that like they're just playing some type of music like while they're, because I would imagine it would kind of be awkward just taking like pictures just quiet.
Yeah. We've had that before. Some difficulties. We just had to get the job done, but you know, the vibe wasn't there. You know, the pose wasn't there because they wasn't in that zone.
Yeah, like they didn't laugh.
Yeah,
sometimes
exactly.
even smiling, like people tell you to smile and like you have to like laugh. Like it's not the same if you just like kind of, you know.
Yep. And then too, the photographers as well. You know, shout out to those photographers I work with because, you know, they can angles and you know they do a lot of work, man. A lot of photographers don't get their respect and credit like they supposed to.
That's something you could touch on too. We haven't talked about much. Is how you met? How has it been meeting the photographers for these shoots? How has it been? And you, I feel like maybe you've tried it at your hand yourself, probably in this time.
Yeah, and that's something I have to work on.
Okay. But I would figure anybody in the business, like you know what I'm saying, like when you get to a certain level, you'd be like, well, I'm gonna try that too. Like
eventually, like I said, that's something I have to practice on, but. Meeting these different, and that's another thing.
I feel like that's a whole world, like within it, photographers, you know?
Yeah, photographers and these videographers, you know, they have these connections, you know, so, you know, that's another thing. You know, these photographers went to these concerts and took photos of these artists and all that, and the artists love the work. That's a connection right there. You know what I'm saying? So I have models. Well, the artist is looking for girls to be in this video or girls to wear this clothing line. And it just bridges that, you know. So, you know, like I said, a shout out to the videographers and photographers because they make it happen. They're the ones that see what's going on. They have that eye.
You have any that you specifically like work with more consistently?
Yeah,
like, you have like got a rhythm with them?
Yeah, a guy named Julius and Jody Watts.
Gotcha.
Those guys, are incredible. I mean, there's the creativity, the art form, and it's just, man, their vision of what you're looking for, they make it happen. Matter of fact, Jody Watts, his photos that he took of my models, we also got published in CIE Fashion Magazine. So yeah, man, I was excited. I mean, the guy is just incredible. He just sees things just different.
How'd you get to meet him?
Oh man, like I said, once again, the designer Nikki, and he was just at this event that we're part of, and he was taking pictures, and I said, man, I would love to get your card. And I asked him, I said, how much you charge for the picture that you took of us? He said, no charge. So when I looked at his page, I was like, wow, this dude is just creative. And we've been working with him ever since. We also work with a guy named Julius. Julius is more like on the urban side, so he's more of that street photography. And also, too, Steve. He's the one that, when I first got into this, shout out to that guy because he didn't charge me. He didn't charge me for nothing, man. It was the love and passion of his work. And the only thing he just asked for us was just to tag him and share his work and tag him.
And that's how a lot of great photographers start. Like one of my friends right now, he makes music and he's doing that right now. Like just doing shoots with different people, tagging them, being like, you know, and it's like that's how a lot of people really start doing it. So shout out to them, really, like the photographers really just be like, nah, I want to like put my work out there and learn.
I should have put him first, man. I apologize if he does see this, you know, Steve. But yeah, Steve really helped in a big, major way because, like I said, he didn't have to do this for free, but he did it because it was a passion of his photography, and he knew that I was getting into it and I needed a photographer, and he really came through. He really came through, man. So a big major shout out. So those are the 3 photographers that I really have a close relationship with. And they really made a big impact in World Heat Enterprises.
Is there any... I know photographers are artists as well, and I know that many artists can sometimes go to like extreme lengths or to try to get a certain vision across. Have you ever seen like some like interesting or like intense photo sessions where you're just like, whoa, I didn't expect to see this go down like this?
Yeah, man. Yes. Just how can I say it? The scenery, the background scenery is just like wow. And then when you actually see the photo, it's like, wow, how did you create this?
I would want to see that. Now, I can see how that could happen because I feel like a lot could go into the set itself, and then you're just taking a photo of you in the set.
Yes.
So they might not even use the whole set.
Yeah. Like, man, like I've seen a photo shoot with just, how can I say, just apply this, but it just looks incredible. Whatever they see in that lens, they make a masterpiece. You know, it's just, you know, your creativity and how you use that camera is more than just shooting. You know, it's a technique to that.
Yeah, I think that's why they made big strides when they added that, like the third camera to like the iPhone and stuff like that, to be able to, like, that's what he's explaining to me, because you can, while doing it, change it and like the focus.
Yes, you're absolutely right. Yeah,
and that's pretty much showing
crazy.
Like their skill, because before they wouldn't really be able to get into that part unless they had their other tool with them. Like people that had this now, they're like, all right, I could do it with this. Like,
you know, there's a photographer that's actually that's all she uses is the iPhone, but you'll think that she used a professional camera. It's just the three camera iPhone, but her work is so freaking dope. Very expensive, but I can see why. You know, why would you dumb down? You know, I mean, this girl on just a phone, work is amazing.
That's crazy. I gotta check that out.
Yeah,
because I've seen like different phone photographies, but I haven't looked too much into people that have been, I guess, like exclusive with it. I've seen like film like that, like different movies where they like they shot whole movies in iPhones.
Yes.
I think it just comes down to, like, in this person's case, I'm sure they're just expert, like, in using it. You know what I mean? It's about, like, because it's like a tool.
Oh, yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's like, how do you use that tool? What do you use to get across? And like you're saying, the people, with the way they envision it and how they get that across, like what you see, like a set like this, and how you're saying, like, they can shoot it and have it look completely different. It's like, whoa.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's mind-blowing.
Yeah.
You know, it's a talent. That's why I say, like I said, a lot of these photographers really don't get the respect. You know, because it's the person that's behind that they're shooting, but you know, what about that person that shot it? You know, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the person that created this. That's the person that's making you look good. And sometimes, like I said, a lot of people don't get their credit. You know, so I'm a big, huge thing of getting people their credit.
Speaking on that note, have you ever run into any issues in regards to like brands that people wear like in photos? I always wonder, like, how does that work? Like, if it's not like your brand, like if you're just wearing like clothes that you think like look nice and then you take good photos, like, is that like you have to like blur the brands out? Like, are they
sometimes but it all depends on the designer and the company. Most of the time they will want you to, you know, promote, because more promotion is good promote. You know, if it looks good on that person, somebody's like, wow, where'd you get it at? You know, and then you got some that are very strict on that, but most of the time I haven't ran into that issue. They want to be seen, like I would think that they want to be well known.
Is there ever like a point that's like kind of like on a legal side where you have to pursue it? Like, is there, because I'm curious, because I honestly have no idea when it comes to this, like the laws behind this, but I'm curious as like,
I guess like in the music, have you ever had to clear something?
Yeah. Most of the time when we do these video shoots, you have to sign a a waiver. So that means like when you sign it, that they can take those pictures or those videos and post it, and you can't really sue because you signed a paper. You know, so however, if you don't like how you look, then you just don't like how you look. You know, you sign a paper so they can do whatever they want with that, you know. And then sometimes, you know, like a lot of times when I have photo shoots, I always make sure that my girls get their photos. So I always have that agreement with the camera or the videographer. Hey, I would love it. It's portfolios, you know. So when we present to these agencies, I want them to have their own, the pictures that they took for the portfolio shots. And then some people like no, and then, you know, however you want to go at it with that, you know, you can part ways or respect it. But most of the time, you know, I make sure my girls get what they get their photos, you know, because we need that.
And that works good as like for people that want to look into your business to join it as well, because it helps them to see that like that's something you put on the forefront. Like, you know
absolutely.
what I mean? Because a lot of other places, that's probably what they're curious about. Like, if I do sign with this agency or do work with these people, like, am I just licensed away to whatever work I do with them? Like, what can I do other stuff? And you're coming out on the forefront saying like, no, I want to be able to approach everyone else. Like, you could have them too.
Exactly. So, you know, like I said, I don't, you know, I keep them, but everybody gets it. You know, everybody gets it, so that way, you know, you have it. You know, good for, you know, background in your past, you know, you watch your growth, and then it's good for agencies, because agencies want to see that, you know. And like I said, there is some photographers that, you know, I would like to keep them, and, you know, however what they do with it, you know, then, you know, hey, I don't know, you know, but I just try to keep that fair, you know. Let's just all be on the same page. You create the masterpiece. You needed them. Why not? You know, we tag you, and, you know, why not? You know, everybody gets the same respect. You know.
I agree.
Do you ever see yourself getting into film?
Yeah.
Like the film industry?
Yeah. Matter of fact, the model Monique, she's going to start her own film thing, and, you know, we're going to collab with that. So yeah, we're in the process of that. So I'm excited about that. Hopefully, we should get that going in the summertime. And
found another toy.
Yeah, so I'm excited about that. She's really good at filming and stuff. So yeah, so she's a very talented model. I'm very excited.
So her I'm interested to know about the company that she's starting. Is it going to be like her acting, or is she gonna launch other films, or is it like, you know, she writing
a little bit of everything?
Right, all of them. That's fine. That's what I would think I would want to do if I started it, because, you know, in the beginning you have to build the team, obviously. So absolutely. It's like it does take a little bit of you doing a lot of the different stuff. That's why Mauricio is helpful too in the group of, like, you already know, like, in the beginning of a business and company, it's usually just like one person or two people doing like hella different roles. So, but I could see that was kind of. I was thinking like maybe what role she would want to be in the film company she's starting, I guess.
Yeah, she wants to do a little bit of everything, and she has it, you know, the equipment and stuff. So we're just getting in the process of that, and you guys be on the lookout for her. You know, yeah, she's definitely gonna do some dope stuff.
Did you get into acting in it?
I actually did a few acting jobs for Charles Clemens. Very small role. The movie is called Run This Town, and basically I was the criminal that got arrested, so I come in the office getting smacked around. You know the interrogation part. You know, ran into the door, and you know.
See, I gotta try something like that. My dad is always telling me that. Like, he's always telling me I should get into acting and try acting. I've never really done like drama like that, but as I started doing like music videos and seeing that aspect of it, I was like, oh, it's not that bad. It's all right.
Yeah, that's acting, man. That's why a lot of these rappers go into movie scenes, because they're acting.
It's like, oh, you're already acting a bit, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like when you're in the role of certain songs, and trying to, like, you know what I mean? So sorry.
Yeah, you know, and also being an extra.
Mm-hmm. I did that before once. I was in like an Absol video when I was like a while ago in high school, because they put out just like a little post for like extras, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, like I wanted to go, and I remember my mom took me, and then I went there, and I was just there for like a long time, like, but it was just literally like you just had to be kind of like around a car in like a mosh pit, and that was my first time seeing kind of like a shoot like that, where I got to meet like Sign Up, and like they had like waters and stuff, and like there's different people there. I got to meet the people. people, and it was funny kind of knowing like there was fake rules that weren't really rules.
Yeah.
But it was a TDE, obviously a video shoot, but I was there in the room with all the people, and then there was a room where the actual video shoot was, and then some people that were definitely extras were like over there, and then some people told me that they were over there, and then I was like, all right, we should just go, and then we went over there. Before we know it, everybody was just over there, like no one was really gonna tell you to go over there to start. Like it was just it was just like they just slowly started making their own way over there whenever you decided to be like, all right, like I'm just gonna stand over here, like That was a cool thing to know about it though. Like I could have went over there and stood on my own, like, but I was kind of like, I had to be like 17, so I was kind of like, I don't know. But I remember jumping around. They did the scenes a few different times of him on the car. Zakari was there. He was like playing the guitar on top of the car, and I was like jumping around with the other people. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, man, it's fun. Those
and the real people, like the producers of the song, were in the video too, like doing it too, which was crazy.
It's fun, man. Like it really is fun. You know, you just, you know, one thing I can say about Hollywood needs people. That's the only way it goes, man. It needs people. Whether you start off small, some people start off big, but you know, the experience and to be able to like tell that story, you know.
Yeah, I wish I had like a mixtape at that time. That would have been a great time to have a mixtape. Yeah, could have definitely hinted to like Absol, because after he was a really cool dude. He took pictures with everybody.
Yeah, that guy down to earth. Yeah,
he took pictures with every single person that was there. He just was like, all right, everybody could come take pictures.
Yep, very down to earth.
That's awesome. It's cool and seeing people are like that cool and But I know Hollywood is also a place that's full of a lot of like kind of fakeness and like competitiveness, and so I'm kind of curious to see like what's it like in an agency, you know, like
because I feel like maybe you probably deal with the grunt of it more so.
Yes,
because it's a lot more of like of that side of it. That would be a little bit rough.
Yeah, you gotta have thick skin. You gotta have thick skin, man, because I done met directors and some designers where they assholes. Yeah, and it's just like, okay, I see how the energy is coming. I'll just stay over here. And I always tell my models, like, one thing about this industry, you got to keep your word. So if you say you're going to do something, you got to do it, or, let something major happen, but you want to come with it because you can mess your name up quickly, especially in the modeling industry. If you're known as that model as a problem, it's pretty much a wrap. Because everybody knows everybody, and once the gossip spread, it spreads like wildfire. And you know how it goes. Sometimes things get thrown extra that never happened, but just to keep the gossip going. Yeah. So that's one thing I'm really that's the best advice I can tell people. Keep your word.
Just stay on that line. Yeah, just like keeping your word.
Exactly. If you say you're gonna do it, do it. Unless something drastically happen, you show up. You show up if you got a cold, or well, not COVID, but if your foot hurt, if Michael Jordan can play when he was sick and Kobe Bryant can play, that's the field we in. Yeah. People are very sensitive, and when there's money involved, people don't want their money wasted. Especially with opportunities that that can like something like this. Keep your word, man.
I feel like it takes a lot more times of like being like, well, I gotta stick the situation out to then assess like, all right, I want to make that business move no more. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I feel like it's a lot of that having to do in that industry where it's like, you got over here, I got these connections, but I stuck that out to gain these other connections. I probably won't work with him directly. I work with this person. You know what I mean?
And like I said, it's a lot of sharks in this field. You got to know how to maneuver around that. But like the most part, you got to have, it starts mentally, and you got to have thick skin. That's just part of this business. These people they feel like, because I have this status, I can talk to people in any kind of way. And that's fine. Don't let that stop you from your goals and dreams. And that's one thing I like to tell people too, when you have a team, you have a team or a family you can fall back on. So you're not just doing it by yourself. And I think that's where a lot of models sometimes get discouraged, because a lot of them manage themselves. So once, they come across somebody like that can just discourage them and make them want to stop doing it completely.
See, you're speaking on something that I was like, it's relating to a similar experience we had. That I'm like, wow, I could see how that could really happen because a similar experience we had with the music. I feel like I've only really ran across like that not too many times, but because like you said, like the model manages herself, so we manage our own shit, so we don't really run into too many like instances like that where we're dealing with somebody that's overly giving us like a, you know what I mean, like a hard time on that end, and we're still working with them. But a time when we have where money was exchanged, it was a similar feeling of that, you know what I mean, where the person was kind of trying to say certain things based on their experience and like them being so much in the industry, and it kind of rubbed us the wrong way creatively, where it's like I see how that could happen to certain people. Like we kind of already knew in some sense like this could happen. You do gotta have thick skin because it's like this is, you know, you can work with another director, you can do other stuff, you know. But that was one of those instances where I felt the exact feeling you talking about of like, you know what I mean, like like I don't know, you know. It's it could be devastating because, you know, like they're trying to tell you like I just worked with this artist and this is how it is, you know what I mean, like, and this is the attitude they're gonna have towards it, or they're not gonna take it serious if you don't do this. One
experience where a model went to a casting call. They chose her to walk the runway for this designer, but then when she goes to the show, the designer or the person that run the show tells her that actually picked her, tells her that she's not tall enough for the designers, and then pretty much said we don't need her. So it was like, okay, you knew I was this size when you chose me. Okay, what changed now? You know, and that pretty much devastated her. You know, so I just felt like wow. But see, but that's when the thick skin comes in. You know, you ask yourself, do you want to, you know, stop?
You tell her stop. Shut up. Come here. You just tell her stop. She listens.
Yeah, she's gonna just try to keep pushing her boundaries and see how much she can say hello. But feel free to just tell her to.
All right, shut up.
Like, hey, shut up, stop.
But yeah, it could be devastating. But like I said, that's where you got to have your vision and your goals of what you're trying to reach, because those obstacles will come. And I look at it as a test. You know, will it break you, or do you still see the bigger picture of where you're trying to go with it?
I agree.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure I know which time you're talking about. In doing that, and I remember within that, I felt like a large part of it, what we took away from it, was kind of like that of like this person's approach to things just didn't align with what we wanted it to.
If I remember correctly, they had a big background at the moment in like commercials, like commercial shoots and like commercial style shoots at the time, and they also were freelancing with what they were doing with us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So they I mean, don't get me wrong, like I understood where the guy was coming from and what he wanted, what he was saying when he said those things, but like you said, it comes down to knowing what it is that you want to get across and understanding what it is that they, and like if it doesn't align, it doesn't align. Shadow, no. And like, and it was a big part of that was kind of just reinforcing, like being like, no, we believe in our thought process so much that we don't have to try to settle, even if someone's. Yeah, no, she's just gonna.
It's all good.
You're gonna have to go inside, Shadow, in like 2 minutes if you don't keep this up. But it was a matter of kind of like reinforcing in ourselves like what it is that we believe in, what it is that we think, and even though someone is telling us like, oh, like I understand like their reality of it, because what he was saying I don't think was necessarily wrong. Shadow, all right, you're going in. I think it was just that it just wasn't right for what we wanted to do.
Mind Tree Radio.
Yeah, man, like I tell people, it's, you know, what you believe in. You know, I feel like, and then too, like I said, even though I'm a manager, I can get fired. You know, I work for them. They don't work for me. You know,
that's a good point people don't bring up a lot of time in managing some stuff. Like you like they could decide you're not adequate to keep managing the shit you're managing no more. And just find somebody else to manage their shit.
I mean, you know, the contract, you know, I mean, unless you have a long contract, but I don't do that. You know, my contracts are you know, I always want them to be, hey, if you feel you can go, always go. I'm not here to stop no one's opportunities.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be like that, you know. But some of these, like I said, you got these sharks and snakes, you know. And
there's people that are like that,
Yeah.
and that's kind of weird. Yeah, it's always weird because it's like it should be an exchange. Like whatever you're getting from me and you're giving to me, like that's what it's about.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like it shouldn't be about what I'm gonna do in other areas, like how that affects you. Like that shouldn't affect you.
Yeah. If you good at what you do, it shouldn't, like you said. And like I said, the managers, we work for you guys. You know, we don't work. You guys will work for us. You know, the only thing the manager job is supposed to do is make sure we meet the goals, and we keep, you know, you get you guys what y'all ask for. So we're not meeting the expectation. Guess what? I'm out the door. You know, because you know you can find someone else that can, you know, meet your expectations.
That's good though. I feel like that mentality of like keeping it open-ended like that makes you continuously push yourself to meet those expectations.
Yeah.
Whereas opposed to like when some people get locked into those long-term deals where it's like it's not based off of you can at will or you can leave. It's like there's no expectation, so you can just kind of
like it gives more like incentive for both people to kind of push to be like, all right, I gotta meet this person's expectations, and like this person is meeting the expectations, so I gotta.
It works out so better that way.
Yeah.
You know that way no one feels like someone owes them something, and I think that's where a lot of these deals go wrong, where you know you sign where you owe me, and it's like no, it shouldn't be like that. You know, that's how I never I never did that. You know, because I wouldn't want anybody doing that to me. If I feel like, you know, I don't know, it just works out better that way.
Sorry. One thing I guess I want to touch on before we get into the life affirmation segment is health and like the vegan lifestyle and how that plays into, I guess, your career path and how you got to what you're on and your lifestyle in general. Because I know at least before I heard you were doing this, that was the main thing I heard, that you were involved with like Herbalife, I think at the time.
Yes, I was. A few years ago, you know, looked in the mirror and said, oh man, got a little stomach here, you know. And health-wise, high blood pressure was starting to rise. I was overweight. That's what the doctor said. And he said, well, you know, if you really don't want to have diabetes, you're going to have to, you know, change your lifestyle. So that's when I made a commitment. I said, you know what? Hey, you know, I don't have no kids. You know, I was eating pretty bad, and it was not a lot of water, you know, drinking and sodas, the pizzas, you know, which is nothing wrong with that, but, you know, you don't want to keep having that, you know. And I was going to a path where health was going to start, you know, declining, looking pretty bad. So I was, you know, once again, like I said, social media is a beautiful thing if you use it the right way. And ran into someone that I actually ran into a fashion show, and she did Herbalife. And, you know, just for me liking the picture, she DM'd me and was like, hey, you know, are you interested in like starting a new health journey? And I was like, yeah, what do I need to do? So she invited me to this nutrition club, and they just have a new Herbalife. She gave me a sample of the shakes, and the shakes was bomb. And I was like, so this shake right here that tastes really good is actually healthy? She was like, yeah. So I got started, and I did that. I did Herbalife for 5 years. You know, and it was fun because I also helped other people and got good results from it. And it went from there, and I just felt like, you know, it just wasn't really my thing anymore when it came down to like the money-wise. I just felt like, and this is not a bad thing, it's just that, you know, I just felt like I didn't want to make money off of other people.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, you know.
I understand. I feel like those business models in general, even outside of health or even just in general, I never really related to them too personally just because of that. Just because there's nothing bad with that. It's just that, like, you have to be into that in a way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you have to be into the fact that, like, and you have to sell yourself on that idea. That's not what you're doing.
Exactly.
And that's cool if you want to do that, but I just never really settled with that for myself.
Exactly.
And I feel like I don't know about everybody should do their own decisions, you know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah, I didn't, you know, so I was like, it wasn't me. So I parted ways, and I started you know, I kept seeing vegan. What? I'm like, you know, everywhere I go, I kept seeing the vegan thing. And a friend of mine invited me to this vegan event, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go. And man, I feel like I was in. It just felt right, cause she gave me this food. This guy that they call him Compton Vegan, and
It's like a food truck?
yeah, he was the food truck, and I tasted this food, and I had these barbecue ribs, but they wasn't really ribs. It was made out of jackfruit.
Sounds bomb.
But man, when I had it, I was like, wait a minute, this is not meat. He was like, nope. The macaroni and cheese was not, it was vegan style. And I was like, so you mean to tell me, I said, are you serious? He goes, yeah, there's no meat. Then I had some cookies. I said, so you mean to tell me this is, he goes, yeah. And that changed my whole life from there, man. And the vegan journey, man.
How's it played into your career thus far?
Well, that part, I started going to a lot of these vegan events, and these, a lot of these, t-shirt companies, and the material they use was not made out of animals, but it was stylish,
Yes, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah,
like the
stylish.
vegan leather, like people want to model that, like the vegan clothes.
Yeah, man. So I was networking with them, and they was like, "Hey, would you mind taking a picture?" So I was like, "Well, I'm not gonna take any. I'm just gonna take a professional picture." Mm-hmm. And it went from there, man. So they was like, "So now I'm on their websites and stuff, man." So see how it just plays out like that. Yeah, man. But health wise, man, I guess I'm healthy. I had any issues.
And what would you say about like building muscle with it? 'Cause I know it's a big thing people like have a big like talk about, like as far as like working out and like building like protein and that. Like I feel like that's something people want to know about. Like how does that work?
Well, like I said, if you look at the gorilla, he's eating them with plants. You look at the cows, strong animals, they eating them with plants. So you're getting your protein from plants.
Gotcha.
You don't actually need to have meat. And like I said, I'm not the type of person that's going to be preaching to people, or if I'm at a barbecue, I'm not finna kick over the damn barbecue pit and say, you guys, no, this is not.
Yeah, I still eat meat too.
I'm not an activist. I feel like everybody, like I said, when I came into this world, that's what I ate. You know what I'm saying? So, but it was just my choice, but, and then too, I love animals.
Yeah, I think that's the deeper part for most people when that are really into it. Yeah. They say that it's just like about animals for them.
Yeah,
they
man.
feel like they're too much alike to us. That's the one thing I always related to a milk. Because I used to drink a lot of milk, and I didn't really like drinking milk after a while. I started drinking oat milk, and I realized that, I don't know, it's something about like cow milk. I realized I don't think we're really supposed to be drinking cow's milk because they don't, like no other animals.
We're not a cow, And that's true. Cows drink cow milk, goats drink goat milk.
Yeah, like all other animals drink their own milks. Like,
yeah, man. But I'm gonna tell you what really changed, like my whole perspective. I went to a farm, man. A farm.
That'll do it too, because they're like a lot of times, even for me, just like regular animals and like horses and stuff. Yeah. They don't really like have them in like the nicest of conditions. You know what I mean? For you to be like, oh, okay, and then a farm, I imagine, is like worse.
Not this farm.
Oh, it was a vegan farm?
No, it was just a regular farm, and it was this cow. I don't know what it was, man. Maybe it was the universe, but this cow, just like how in the shadow, this cow did the same thing. But it was funny, when I went like this, the cow did like that. I went like this, the cow did like that. Told the cow came. And I came back 6 months later, that same cow remembered me. That's crazy. So that really like changed my whole idea. And I was like, man, can't eat you, man. Yeah. But yeah, I really do love animals. I wanted to be a veterinarian growing up. That didn't happen, the way it should have. But, my mother loves animals, and, my mother, loves dogs and cats, and we had a lot of that around. And but that's what I really wanted. I really wanted to be a veterinarian and stuff. But I've assisted veterinarians and stuff like that. But yeah, man, it's the fact I really love animals, man. From snakes to the rats. I mean, anything, man. Fish. I don't eat fish. It's strictly just a plant-based lifestyle for me. It's just a passion of animals. I really do love animals.
Have you ever thought about doing like animal photography, like nature photography?
Yeah, exactly what I was about to ask.
Yes. Actually, we had that coming up. We have that coming up in the pipeline. So yeah, you'll definitely be seeing me.
So I know it's a big market, especially for dogs nowadays.
Oh yeah.
Like with all the like people that like do have kennels and all these other like prize dogs.
Yes, we were actually supposed to do a photo shoot with these this guy. He had some dogs, but just the conditions of what I said I can't support this.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, the dogs are in cages. You know, then he's hitting the dogs with sticks. I'm like, come on, man. You know, and it didn't work out quite well. And you know, just the way he treated the dogs and his attitude as well. So that was another. We was like, yeah, we're not gonna waste our time with that. So.
I guess that's another difficulty with animal like modeling in a sense is that sometimes like animals, like. I don't know if that's what they want to do, you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like then to get them to do it sometimes, but sometimes dogs it's a little easier because they just be like trying to like you know certain animals they'll pose though. They like attention like.
Absolutely, man, and you know, like I said, I know a lot of people don't like the circus, but like I said, I've been to circuses. Yeah. You know, I can see where you know the cruelty part comes in. But I think there's other ways to get animals to do things, you know. Yeah. You know, I really believe that. So I really don't fault the circus. You know, I haven't seen anything in my eyes to where I can, you know, and behind the background, I ain't never seen the elephant get beat the hell out of. You know, I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like if people were to weigh that with what goes on in like slaughterhouses,
cows,
it's not that bad. You know
yeah. You know, I mean,
like
animals,
they're still living, chilling, like
You know, animals sometimes they like us. They need discipline. You know, you know, not in the way where you just beating them, but you know, like I said, I don't know. Can't speak on that part.
I like to believe it's a lot more like positive reinforcement. You know, like treats and things.
I would think they at least want them.
That's a good way of looking at it.
Even on a money sense, they at least want them to be alive to continue doing it.
Exactly.
Like the goal isn't for them to die to make money.
Or with a broken leg. You know, you know, yeah. So. That's a good way of looking at it.
Have you had any instances yet where you've seen like on a shoot that they've brought in a live animal? Because I know like in those cases I've heard that they bring in like a handler and there's like sometimes even there's like a secondary organization that's kind of like overseeing that.
Yeah, we did the horse shoot. Man. But like I said, those horses were well trained. Like she knew how the hand signals. The horse knew how to, you know, pose and all that, man. It was incredible.
So it was very on command. Like whatever poses they wanted to do, they could just tell it to do.
Yeah, and then they get an apple or get sugar cubes. Or sugar cubes. Yeah, man. We did it with Malibu. That was the most incredible experience, man. The horses were gorgeous.
I've definitely heard of stuff like that though. Like we're about to go to a concert this next weekend, the Smoking Grooves one, and I didn't know that was like an old concert, and I was looking at old videos of it, and there was once like they brought out a lion. Oh, wow. On stage at that concert, like even back when like I guess they weren't really crazy on like the animal cruelty, they really had like a lion like on stage. It was like I think it was Wyclef Jean and somebody else, but it was at this concert that when they had it back then. And I was like, wow, I just saw that. I was like, that's crazy to think that there's shoots with lions. Like, would you ever do that? Do you see yourself with the lion trainer?
Yeah. One of my models did a picture with a snake.
Yeah, like stuff like that. Like
man, the look on her face, she was terrified, but you could tell like she was like forcing so the camera guy had to really get that right picture because she was like, you know, but she, you know, and,
because you're like trying to move, but
get that split second.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Man, it was crazy. It was crazy.
Yeah. Any other questions before you get to the life affirmations part?
I think that pretty much. Nothing off the top of my head. I feel like we talked about a lot of cool stuff, honestly. A lot of stuff that we haven't talked about on this podcast at all. So it's been a really good talk today, honestly.
I'm glad, man.
So now is the part we get to the life affirmation segment. We kind of just go around and say one thing we look at differently in the past, like month, or year, or 2 weeks, or however long you want to give it to. I'll probably start out first.
Okay.
I feel like for me, I've had like a lot of different ones these past few weeks, so this is gonna be another strand of like a whole bunch of them this week. So I'll probably start this one on the note of just like timing, I guess. Like in what we were talking about earlier, like getting stuff done like right away, kind of like in the sense of like just managing time management. I feel like I could manage time better and just the certain things that I'm doing, and it's not really like in the past year or like past month one. I feel like it's kind of hard to pinpoint the time period in this. I more so had to do with this the idea of like I'm thinking about moving to New York. And I'm thinking about trying to transfer my job, like to be able to go.
Yeah.
And I haven't really talked to them about it yet, but more so because I was like thinking of like time to save up, because I got like a promotion recently.
Nice.
But I'm kind of like I might not have the promotion if I transfer over there.
Okay.
So I'm like, I don't know if I should save or I should tell them, but I kind of feel like I've lately been thinking like I need to stop procrastinating on just like telling them, just because if I could do that, I can do a lot of stuff faster in a way.
Okay.
I just have to kind of get that hurdle out the way of like them applying and like, and yesterday was a big sign for me to really do it, because someone else in my job, I didn't know he was from New York, but he was moving back, and they offered him the position for one there. You know what I mean? Like for him to apply. He's a game tech though, so it would have been in a different field than I'm in. But I just know that they're able to do it. And he said he turned it down. He doesn't even want to work there because he just want to work at no more. But I was like, man, like that's exactly what I need if they do want to. Yeah.
Shit, that's an open spot right there.
Yeah, well, it's in a position that I can't fill, so I'm like, I have to see if they have one in mind, because he's a game tech, so he fixes the games and stuff.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But if they have some in my position, I'm good.
Oh yeah. Okay. That's like, no, I feel that though. I feel like in a similar fashion, I find myself like, kind of like on a similar thing. Like I've had like other like financial things that are kind of that I keep procrastinating on and trying to put it off because like, one, I hate thinking about it first and foremost.
And like maybe you could like prepare better, stack more, you know.
Exactly. Like there's a lot of moments where like I find myself in having waited, because it's a mix of like a gut feeling for me, because I find myself like I'm getting like these gut feelings to do something, and then like for whatever reason sometimes I just haven't executed on them, and then I find myself looking back and I'm like, motherfucker, like I should have did it. Like I see what I'm behind 2 steps by not doing that. And every time I procrastinate more and more in doing this certain thing, every time I seem to look back on it, I'm like, oh wait, should I have done it already? Fuck, now I'm 4 steps behind, 6 steps behind. And so it's a lot of that, trying to get these things done so you can keep moving forward, because if not, I feel you, the more you keep letting it push forward and forward, it's just going to keep holding you back.
Yeah, very true. Well, I guess for me, learn how to go with the flow. A lot of times in the industry I'm in, it could be, you know, things can hit you just out of nowhere. You got so much stuff, and stuff piles up, and you're trying to get this done, get that done, get this done, and you just can't. You're not a machine. You got to take a break. And sometimes, you know, some things may not get done today, but you still got tomorrow. So my thing is, sometimes I can get overwhelmed. Well, sometimes I just got to woosah. And just let it go with the flow. You know, it's going to get done. It's just, you know, you can't just force it. You know what I'm saying? So that's where the patience comes in, and that's where you got to just, okay. Yeah, and being more organized. That's the most important part. Organization. You know, so that's what I definitely need to work on. You know, just letting things go to the flow. Be more organized and patience. You know, so yeah. Oh yeah.
No, I agree. You gotta stay patient. You know, I feel like for me personally, mine is like kind of on that similar tip of patience. Like I heard a quote like a week or so ago that was like something along the lines of, nothing in nature blooms all year round, so you shouldn't like fret if you don't.
Oh, yeah, that's deep.
You know, and so there's like certain moments, and like especially now in this time where we're switching from winter to spring, I'm like starting to see it more so like in the flowers of like things that seemed like they just were stagnant for so long, like some plants that look like they were dead for like a couple
it's just because like that's the time they're meant to like chill out,
recharge.
Exactly.
Yes, just like a bear hibernating, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah, man, yeah.
And now it's when they're waking up and it's blooming. Like it's kind of just, for me, it's been about trying to be a little bit more like understanding and patient with the moments where it feels like not much is blooming, to where when it does bloom, to really go with the bloom. You know what I mean? Go with the flow, like you're saying.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you for coming. And
thank you guys for having me, man.
This
is incredible.
It was a great one. I had a good time talking to you about learning about your business. You know, it was really good and inspiring, really, for us trying to get to the next level with our company. You know.
Thank you guys for having me, man.
Yeah, and then anything you want to say to the people, you know, let them know where they could find your company at.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Get in touch with you.
So I have 2 pages. I go by the name of King Empire of LB. Also, World Heat Enterprises is the modeling talent management agency on there as well. And then also, you guys can always follow these incredible guys right here that making this all happen. And then also, you can always follow my models. Lex, her Instagram is at No Wait, That's Her. Monique, hers is the only Empress Mo. And then you have Dominique, her Instagram page is at Goddess Damo. And then you have Fatima at Deshaun Danaki. Feel free, to, like, comment, and ask any question that you may have. We're always willing to work with everybody. So we just want to bring the heat.
Peace out, everyone.
Mind Tree Radio.
Oh, can you turn it up a little bit? Or no, I got it in mind. Good morning. How's it going out there? Good morning. How's it going out there?
Like a little sample?
Good morning.
No, hey, whoa, hey, count the last dollar for me. Count the last dollar for me, split it for a second, whoa. Count the last dollar for me, split it for a second, right there, no. Hey, count that last dollar for me, split it for a second, we ain't need it, we ain't really young. Hey, count that last dollar for me, split it for a second, we ain't really need it, we ain't really need it. Hey, count that last dollar for me, split it for a second, we ain't really need it, money account stuck, we ain't really bleeding.
I was thinking of the last little set. I was like, hey, we don't really need it. Hey, say that last dollar. Hey, say that last dollar. We don't really need it. Cut it for me. Put it for me. Say that last dollar for me. We ain't really bleeding. Cut it for me. We ain't really. Say that last dollar for me, we ain't really need it. Cut it for me, we ain't really bleeding. We ain't really Jesus, we ain't really dying. We ain't really on the cross, never. We ain't really suffering. We ain't really trying to we ain't really climbing fast, we ain't really climbing slow. We ain't really going quick, we ain't really trying to go. We just wanna be at the place to the end of the road. That's what they call it, right? When you feel the greatest, when you see the vision, when you defeat it, all the demons. But they don't wanna know how we end up there or how we get it quick. They ain't wanna see a vision from a realist. I know I'ma make it soon, I can see the vision. I've been cutting the quack, they can't complete the mission. I think I got enough.
Mind Tree Radio.